thank you all for that very, very heartfelt welcome. When Rand first approached me about talking about my passion, I thought this would be a little bit difficult to do. Being that I've just turned 49 and I've had many, many years to deal with my passion. So I sat down very calmly, starting to write what I wanted to say. And I started with when I was just a little girl. And I realize now at this age, it's very just that I say when I was just a little girl. And then for some reason, the Que Sera song wouldn't leave my head. When I was just a little girl. And I thought, why do I keep repeating this song in my head? Of course, being that I'm a person who expresses herself through movement and music is often very related to what I do, I thought maybe that's the reason. But it only came to me a couple of nights ago when I realized, after I started playing the words properly in my head to that song, was the little girl asked her mother, what would she be? And in my case, if my mother were alive today, she would tell you, Nadra always told me what she would be, and that was a dancer. From a very young age, I started being passionate about dancing, about movement. At the age of 8, I had created my first choreography, and it was presented on national television in Lebanon. Of course, that was before probably most of you were even born. But I was very proud of what I had done, and from the age of 8 until 12, I spent lots of time at school choreographing for my classmates. At the age of 12, I had to leave Lebanon due to the war, and my mother, being an American, decided she wanted to take us back to her country, which was the United States. And I spent a few years there learning more about dance. When I came back to Lebanon for my last 3 years of high school, I was, as some of you might know if you're high school students in this country, I was selected to be in a particular category which was scientific because I was so good at sciences. And that's when the dilemma between what I saw my life to be and what others around me perceived it to be started. Because people would say things to me like, I'm going to use Arabic, da'an hal'a'il. And I would think, why? Because I don't want to do something in the sciences? Because I'm a person who likes the arts, but I'm very, very good at sciences. It's just that that's not where I see myself. That's not what my goal in life is about. And then I went through the whole struggle of my physics teacher calling me a monkey who dances around, and all these other negative connotations regarding dance. But I never wavered. I figured this is what I feel I should really do, and this is what I want to do. I went off to university and I started at AUB, and that was in the early 80s, and as some of you might know from Lebanon's history, there was also a not-so-nice war going on, and my parents chose to send me to the United States, where I stayed for 10 years. They were probably, as far as studies go, the best 10 years of my life, because there I found a place where I could actually study and interact with people who felt as passionate about movement and movement expression as I did. And then suddenly it dawned on me that my passion wasn't just about me, but it was more about what I could give to people who were like me. And I wanted nothing more than to come back to Lebanon and experience with Lebanese people and Lebanese students the things that I wasn't able to experience when I was little. And here's where something very interesting crossed my mind. Artists often say, those who can, do, and those who can't, teach. I think that that's the artist's way of making themselves seem very important when they're out there making their millions. And as we all know, in the art domain, only maybe 1 out of 1,000,000 actually can make all that kind of money. But this has never been about money for me. What I believe is those who can do, and those who can do more, teach. For me, the passion grew even stronger because what I wanted to do was to teach. And I found a home when I moved back to Lebanon at LAU, where I've been teaching since 1991. I also began a school of dance of my own called Al-Sarab Alternative Dance School that exists in Lebanon and is curriculum-based and registered in the government. And I began teaching through the ideas that I learned, plus the ones that I developed, and I was called again lots of weird, unusual names, like, oh, she's crazy, she doesn't know what she's doing. Please don't take your children to her school because she will ruin them. She doesn't have any idea about what dance is. And this all came from the fact that people put dance in very strong categories. So there are lines that define them. I don't believe in that kind of dance. I believe everyone can dance. And as I sit here looking at you, I see a dance. And this is what it's been like for most of my life. Everything I see to me is a dance. It's a dance of life. Isadora Duncan said, if I could express it in words, there would be no reason to dance it. I have a bit of a spin on her saying, because I believe because I can express it in words, I dance it. I'm a person who deals with languages, whether they are written or body languages. And so this is one of the things that I think about when I deal with my students, always. It's a type of communication. And I spent the time in my education, based as a teacher, in helping to make people understand what it is that the body can do in the form of communication. I once was privy to doing a dance on television. I was asked to create a dance for a certain religious holiday. And I picked a song that Fayrouz sings because I'm very attached to Lebanese artists. And I picked a song that Fayrouz sang, and without really knowing that it would maybe offend some people religiously, and I created a beautiful dance. After it was filmed for television, the director came and told me, عندك شي تاني? And I thought, why? He said, بعتقد في ناس ما راح يحبوا انك عم ترقصي على هيدا الكلام. And I looked at him and I said, first, أنا مني دب. And I don't know if any of you know the saying, عم الدب تيرقص. So أنا مني دب, and I don't just أرقص كيف ما كان. And then as I walked away, I turned back and I said, ولمعلوماتك أنا ما كنت عم برقص, كنت عم صلي. These are just some of the things that I've struggled through in my 22 years of being in Lebanon, building a school, developing dance, and attempting to forward the Middle East dance situation internationally. And I think that what we did at LAU 2 years ago by implementing the first international dance festival in Lebanon, mistakes always happen. I think that we've done a great job in forwarding the message that I'm trying to get across. And what I'd like to do now is end my talking part of this presentation by saying, I know that my title is The Dance That Moves Me, but actually, dancing is the passion that I move.
See Come gather around, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown, and accept it that soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, so you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone, for the times they are a-changing. 1, 2, 3! Come riders, exercise with your pen, keep your eyes wide, that change won't come again. But speak too soon for the wheels don't spin, and there's no telling who that is leaving. For a loser now will be later to win, for the times they are a-changing. Senators, congressmen, please heed a call. Don't stand in the doorway, don't block up the hall. For he that gets hurt will be he who has stalled. There's a battle outside and it's raging. It'll soon shake your windows and rattle your walls. For the times they are a-changing. Mothers and fathers throughout the land, and don't criticize what you don't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command. Your own is rapidly aging, so get out of the way if you can't lend your hand. For the times they are a-changing. Say the times they are a-changing. It is drawn, the curse it is cast. The slow one now will later be fast, as the present now will later be past. The order is rapidly fading, and the first one now will later be last. For the times they are a-changing. Say the times they are a-changing. Yeah, the times they are a-changing. Say the times they are a-changing.
If I could just have a few seconds to introduce you to members of my troupe, Al-Sarab dance troupe. Jimmy was the first student ever to register in my dance school 22 years ago. Thank you.